دایی یه فرصت خوب حالا پشت مدافعان خداداد عزیزی توی دروازه گل برای ایران خداداد عزیزی باز هم روی زمین گشت سرداران بود و توی دروازه سرداران بود گل به نام آزمونده برای ایران بزنه کریم انصاری گل توی دروازه کریم انصاری دروازه پرتغال باز شد علی ادبی سهم توپ توی دروازه گل اشتباه حرکت از قوچان نژاد فرصت برای قوچان نژاد توی دروازه گل برای ایران.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Goal Bezan podcast. My name is Sina and I'm joined today by Erfan. Erfan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Happy to be back on the podcast. We have, some good friendlies to talk about ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah, it's just me and Erfan today. I know you guys loved Benjamin's analysis from the last podcast we did. It went down a treat. So we'll try to do more of them in the future, especially in the lead up to the World Cup as well. He's a very good coach, as you guys can see. So maybe he can go into the national team setup and get his own Wikipedia page. Who knows? All right, let's talk about the friendlies. Let's kick off. It's like 2 minutes in, I'm already throwing shade. The friendlies, Iran versus Russia on the 10th of October and Iran versus Tanzania the 14th of October. The Russia one we knew was going to happen. The Tanzania one is a new one. They announced that, I think, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I want to get your reaction on the Tanzania one, Erfan.
I don't know, man. They're like ranked 120th, I think, 130th in the FIFA rank, 107th in the FIFA rankings. I mean, they haven't had a bad qualifying campaign. I think they're second or third in the group. But still, I mean, it's World Cup season, right? We should be getting the best possible opponents. And, with all due respect to Tanzania, I think we could do much, much better. Easily, we could do much better. We have done before. I mean, last time, I think, who did we play last time before the World Cup in October? I think we played Uruguay and Senegal, if I'm not mistaken.
We played Uruguay and Senegal. I was at both of those games, and they were both very competitive games. Yeah.
Like, much better friendlies there, so it's a disappointing friendly, but it is what it is.
Yeah. When you contrast it to those two friendlies, I think those two friendlies we were closer to the World Cup maybe than we were to this time around. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. However, those two friendlies, we were playing Uruguay, who's a massive force in South America, and then Senegal, who at the time were African champions. I think, or maybe it was Egypt, but they reached the final for sure.
They were the African champions.
They were the African champions. So Sadio Mane actually got injured in that game, who didn't get to the World Cup. So like it was a competitive game. Both were fairly decent results. Like we won against Uruguay, drew against Senegal. These two games, Russia and Tanzania, like on the last podcast, we talked about how it's fairly unlikely that Ghalenoei will get sacked at this point. If they were always bringing a foreign coach, they're spending a lot more money. And I made the argument, if that money is going towards a coach rather than getting us good friendlies, it's probably not justified. What we're left with now is a bad coach and bad friendlies. So we've got the worst of both. And it's so annoying to see. Like, I don't know when this federation and when the coaching staff are going to wake up to the fact that we are so ill prepared right now for the World Cup coming up in less than a year. But we move, like we can play whatever's ahead of us, I guess. So let's talk about the two friendlies. Before we go into them, we can talk about the squad list. Haradani and Cheshmi are both injured; they're not in the squad. As to Osman as well, I think he underwent surgery as well in Dubai. We've got some new inclusions. Ezatollah and Alayar are back in the squad, and then some new inclusions that Erfan, I know you want to speak about.
Yeah, so we have two new inclusions in Team Melli. First of all, Hoseiny Ebrahimzadeh, who's done very well since joining Persepolis this season. One of the better defenders in the league, and he Persepolis management actually received a lot of criticism for signing him. Like, oh, why are you signing this random player from Khaybar? But no, he's definitely proven himself, and I think he's 28 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he deserves to be called up. Happy for him. And then Castro Tahiri, who's been playing fantastically for Paycon. I think he has 5 goals, if I'm not mistaken, and an assist in the PGPL. And we saw him with the U23 as well, which we'll talk about later. He's been playing fantastically, getting in the right positions, great finishing. So, yeah, two deserved call-ups. Yeah, happy for them, especially for Tahiri.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on the squad as a whole? Like I can see other sort of people that aren't in the squad that maybe you would expect. Ramin Rezayan. Um
Ramin is there.
oh yeah, you're right. He was included, not in the graphic, but he was included. But Kanani's not in the squad.
Daniel Esmalifar is also back after a very, very long time, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was last called up in maybe the Carlos Queiroz era, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. But yeah, Esmalifar was called up after Hardani was injured. Overall, I would say that this squad is better than a lot of the previous squads. I mean, I think it's about time that we saw Aloyar included in the list. Um, and no Kanani, although I don't think he's fully fit, so maybe that's the reason. Um, and no Shahriar Moghanlu, thankfully.
Yeah.
I hope that's a permanent thing. I hope that's not something temporary. But yeah, surprisingly, I'm actually happy with this squad. I think out of the players we have available, this might be the best, or almost the best group of players that we have.
Yeah. I mean, excluding any sort of dual nationals that may be out there as well, I guess. But that just doesn't seem like to be an appetite at all. Maybe not dual nationals, but players that maybe would be eligible. Uh, yeah. So
Jahanbakhsh
that's
is
the
also
squad.
included, even though
Yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
have
So
a
he's
team.
he's an interesting one. He obviously, captain, one of the most experienced players without a club. And there's not many national teams in the world that play and have their captain with a player that doesn't have a club. Um, I don't know. I feel like we've run out of words to talk about with him. But yeah, what do you think about that?
We talked about it last time, mentioning how important it is for him to be playing in a World Cup year. And here we are again. So, yeah, not much to say. He should be doing better than this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we talked about him a lot last episode. If you guys want to hear us talk about him, then you go back to the previous one. But it's a shame. Like he's still got some talent, in my opinion. He he needs to get minutes in this year. Like some players have moved around to try to get minutes. Taremi being a very good example. He wasn't getting minutes at Inter Milan. Moved to Olympiacos. He's played fairly well at the beginning of his campaign. Sayed Menesh is an interesting one as well. He was, not consistently not getting into the squad, and now he's got his sort of first call up for a while, and he's playing fairly well for his club. So it's hopefully he gets played as well. Like hopefully he doesn't just sit on the bench. That's the other thing with Ghalenoei is that he does have a habit of calling up players that you would like to see, getting some minutes, but Hoseiny is a pretty good example as well of that, and they just don't get the minutes that they probably deserve.
Castro Tahiri as well. I would love to see him play. Now that Osman is injured as well, um, and I think he is a better player for Ali than Alipur as well. So I think if Taremi is not fully fit, or if he wants to play a second striker, he should definitely consider playing Tahiri.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the two friendlies. So we have Russia and we have Tanzania. The positive I think that we can maybe take away from this immediately is that both are away from home. So both the Russia one is in Russia and the one against Tanzania is in Dubai. So it's a good thing. Like one, because we don't seem to have the infrastructure at the moment anyway to host home games, but secondly, the World Cup obviously is away. So it's a good thing to get experience away from home fans. Let's talk about the first one. So against Russia, what are your thoughts on that game, Erfan? On the 10th of October, so it's coming up.
Uh, so Russia actually, Russia without three of their players because of injury. Musa Musayov, Litunyov, and Daniel Fomen. So I'll mention that before we start. But no, I think this is Iran's better game of the two games. at this window. Russia away is never an easy game. I think the weather is starting to get cold there also. Um, and I'm not very mad about this friendly. I know a lot of people are. They don't want to play Russia, but no, I think Russia are a good team. And yeah, I know that they can't qualify for the World Cup because they're sanctioned, but I still think it's a good friendly, and I don't mind it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. They're notoriously a very, physical team, aggressive team, and technically, I guess historically they've been pretty decent to play against. Let's be honest. The reason why we're playing them is because they're sanctioned. Like that's the reason. Like, let's put our hands up. However, in term like just talking about the football perspective, I think it's a good game to play. So I'm not mad about it either. I have like you seen hate on Twitter and things, but I think it's actually a good friendly for us. Hopefully we get a win out of it, and yeah, we'll see what happens because yeah, I think the physicality is maybe something that they bring to the table that others, maybe teams in Asia don't bring as much. And their domestic division isn't actually a bad division either, the Russian league. Even under the sanctions they have right now, they still have quite a few Brazilian players, a
They're
lot of
still
South American
moving
players.
players to mainland Europe as well.
Exactly. And Malcolm is a good example. He went from Russia to Saudi Arabia, and like they've had quite a lot of players that have moved around. So I'm definitely not mad about it. Is there a certain format, I guess formation or certain players you want to see being played in that game?
Uh, I want to see Hoseiny play. I mean, the guy's playing in the Russian league. Um, what better chance to give him his first team Melli start than against Russia in Russia? I
Yeah, he's
think
playing well in
it can
Russia
be,
also.
yeah, it can be a good chance for him to impress. I mean, he's winning all these man of the match awards
Mm.
every week, so he can't be a bad player. So I hope he plays.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to see Khoda Bandelu play also. He's been doing well in the league. He got called up for the first time in June, I think it was. But I believe that he was injured, so he didn't play any games. I think he is a better defensive midfielder than anyone actually, except for Izdallahi. So yeah, I'd like to see him play as well.
yeah. Hoseiny I think is a very interesting one. He's very good, and he doesn't get the minutes he deserves in the national team. I genuinely believe if he gets enough minutes in the national team, he probably deserves to start at the World Cup. If not at all of the games, most of the games, because take his age out of it, like he's probably one of our better players. But he just doesn't get the sort of minutes that he deserves, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, I agree with you on that one. Talk about Tanzania then to me. Obviously not as strong as a team, respect to them. But we've always sort of struggled against African teams.
Yeah, I mean, we barely defeated Kenya, I think it was, Burkina Faso, uh, all these teams we play at home. Actually, yeah, we barely defeated them. So, but still, and Tanzania they ranked 100 and what is
Seven.
it? 107th in the FIFA rankings. I was looking through their squad, and most of their players are playing the Tanzanian league.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah, they have some players in the Turkish league. They have a player in the Turkish league, Australian league, Iraqi league, and the Danish league, and also one of they have a player who plays for Salford City. So yeah, it should be an easy win for us, but you never know. And they've never made it past the African Cup of Nations group stages. Uh, they've never even gone close to winning go qualifying for the World Cup. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about them. There's not much really known about them. They're a very
Yeah, so
unknown
the
team.
question I can give you for this one is would you prefer to see maybe a B team for this game or would you prefer to see the best team that he can put out there? Would you prefer to see something more experimental? Like what should be the game plan in this game?
I want to see something experimental, but not something too experimental. Like I want to see experiments with the players that actually deserve to be playing. Like let's say if his starting right back is Arya Yusufi, I don't want to see Ramin Rezayan play against them because Rami Rezan has played a lot. I want to see like Daniel Ismaili fair play. Let's say if Shura Khalilzadeh is his backup center back, I want to see Abargui play, you know? So I want to see these players that don't get chances to play in this game.
Yeah.
Sayed Manish also, I'd love to see him play against Tanzania. I think he can do well.
I think he should get a full 90 in that game, honestly. Like
He
again,
should. He
yeah,
should.
yeah, he definitely should to get his confidence back up because he's a very talented player. He just doesn't get the minutes that he deserves either. I think that's everything on the friendlies side of things. So yeah, if anyone watching, leave comments down below. What do you think about the friendlies? Do you want to see more friendlies? Because I think we have a few more international breaks before the World Cup, of course.
November and March, and
Yeah,
then June, and then the World Cup.
exactly. So we have a couple more, and I haven't seen any other friendlies kind of being rumored. I know before the Tanzania one, there was rumors of Chile and a few other ones. But I haven't.
Mexico's being rumored around, but I don't know how serious that is.
Yeah, I saw Mexico. I saw Mexico. So yeah, put it down in the comments. What do you think about the two friendlies that we're playing, as well as what friendlies do you want to see in the next few international breaks before the World Cup? Because time is ticking. World Cup is in less than a year. It's these games are very they're vital right now. All right. Anything else you want to mention before we move on?
No, I don't think there's anything to mention.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I will be at the Tanzania friendly as well. So if I can, I'll try to bring in some exclusive content for Goal Design if I can. So
If anyone Golbazan fans see Erfan at the game, definitely get a photo with him. He's very nice. He'll take a photo with you, and he'll post it everywhere
yes.
as well because he thinks he's famous. Right. We're going to span to the interview with Ali Adibi, former Persepolis player from the 1970s and longtime professional and semi-professional coach.
Hey everyone, Samson here. I'm with Coach Ali Adibi. Similar to when I spoke with Coach Mansour Ebrahimzadeh, we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Coach Adibi now runs Soccer USA, pretty much the most successful soccer store in Northeast Oklahoma, maybe even Oklahoma. Coach, you've also coached a lot of teams in the Tulsa area, professional teams, a big legacy with that. The Southern Nazarene University college teams here in the U.S., the Tulsa Roughnecks, professional and semi-pro, both indoor and outdoor.
Yes, and I also had a woman team.
That's right.
That they were semi-pro and they were always top 2-3 team in a nation.
So a lot of history in Tulsa with soccer, both men's and women's, college soccer, you name it. But Coach, you also had a good career in Iran. Can you tell me a little bit about the teams you play for in Iran, for maybe some of the young people who don't understand how the Iranian leagues were back then?
Okay, I played the Premier Division in Iran for almost 8-9 years, but I had early injuries, so after I got my injuries, that I was playing in England against Crystal Palace, and I got my knee blew up. So
that was in a friendly?
Yeah, that was a friendly game. But after that, I never come all the way to top. I played 8 years of Premier Division, but I wasn't same as before injuries.
Well, Coach, can you tell us about the teams you played with?
Well, the team in Iran we played with, I played with Persepolis, I played with Homa, I played. These were very well-known teams, and it was different then than it's now. So, but I always enjoyed working with the kids, and I always enjoyed playing soccer.
Right, and in Iran, just so we understand how the league were, how the players were back, how the coaches were, just the whole infrastructure in that time. What were some of your best memories or best players or coaches that you played with?
Okay, my best coach was always Mr. Dehdari, that he was a top coach in Iran, in Asia. And I had a lot of fun playing with Homa, which it was Iranian Airlines was sponsoring the club. And then obviously playing with Persepolis was a big privilege for me.
When fans of today talk about Persepolis, about Istiklal, about Traktor. What do you think the league has now that maybe is better than when you played, or not as good as when you played?
No, that really you cannot compare them. It's a two different timing, two different soccer. But we were some of the top teams in Asia then, and we are still saying we have teams that they are top teams in Asia.
But they haven't been able to get to the final or win the Asian Champions League final when it comes to continental competitions. A lot of Iranian teams in recent years, and right now as we speak, struggling against UAE teams, against Qatar Super League teams. What is the Iranian league lacking right now?
You need to remember that they're spending a lot of money, and we don't have the privilege to use those money, and in like all the Saudi Arabia and Emirat and those guys, they hire a lot of top coaches coming from Europe, but we don't have that because the government is kind of messed up in Iran.
Well, Iran has, like before, had a lot of talent that maybe Qatar, UAE does not have. And yet we're not succeeding as much as we would like at the youth level. And then, as we saw a few weeks ago with the CAF Nations Cup, a draw to Tajikistan, a loss to Uzbekistan, going down a man. In fact, Ghalenoei has had some problems with this, has had 7 red cards in 21 games, and a lot of people are complaining that he's not beating the teams that Iran should beat, that Iran does not have confidence going into this World Cup next year that they should be having, like the best team or best 2 or 3 teams in Asia. What is Team Melli lacking right now?
I think it's too much politics is involved now, which when we were playing, it wasn't that much politics involved. Right now, the coaches are selected because of the politics. The play is the same thing with player. If a player is not pro-government, they prefer not to use him. Same thing with the coaches. Our coaches are not really top coaches in the country right now. Ghalenoei is not best coach, to me.
That's what I was going to ask you about. What does Ghalenoei, when you watch the gameplay, when you watch the selections of players, what is Ghalenoei not doing what he should be doing?
Tactically, we are not advanced as we're supposed to be. Our coaches are not really tactically advanced, and all of our coaches used to go to Europe for classes and everything. We don't have that privilege anymore.
Well, what are the tactics that you're seeing that should not be done or should be done right now?
It's really the tactic is something coach has to see what he has before he decide what he wants to do with them. But unfortunately, like some of our coaches, they already, before even see the player, they already decided what system they want to play, which is wrong, because you have to see if you have a player capable of doing what you want, then you go with the system. Then you decide you want to play 4-3-3, you want to play 4-4-2, so all the system, player determine what system we should play.
Well, there's also the talk of not playing enough young players, not playing the good young players, playing too many of the old players. A lot of people point to maybe the center back like Zadeh, who's 36 years old and getting older, who maybe gets beat on some runs against attacking players from countries that maybe Iranian players should be beating to the ball more, like an Uzbek player or a Tajik player or a Qatari player. What kind of player selection and tactics should there be in order to assert dominance?
Unfortunately, I'm been far away from this, and I can't really judge that. But I know we have talent. That's why we have Taremi playing in Inter Milan now. We have a lot of players that they're playing top teams in Europe, but we still cannot manage to get them together and play as a national team.
Well, and unfortunately, the last couple of years, many players have moved from Europe
Sure.
to Iran or to the Emirati League or Qatari leagues. They've moved away from Europe. There's been less focus on playing in Europe.
Sure.
When you hear about that, about these young players and older players who have been with the national team, moving away from Europe, coming back to Iran or coming to the leagues in the Persian Gulf, what do you think when you hear that?
It's money talks, and right now all the Persian Gulf countries, they're spending a lot of money that they cannot make that money in Iran, so they prefer to go and get the money in Asian countries, other teams.
You've worked a lot with and talk a lot with Coach Mansour Ebrahimzadeh, who has coached with many teams in the PGPL. At one point was helping with Team Melli itself. When you talk with him or watch games the last couple of years and in today, what is so obvious that you guys talk about that Iran needs to be having?
Again, politics need to get out of it. That's the most important thing. And like coaches like Mansour, he could be very effective, very helpful in Iran, but he preferred to come here and work with the youth, and it's a really big privilege for all the youth kids to be able to use his knowledge.
I mean, you spent a lot of time in the U.S., and the U.S. is such a melting pot of cultures. You get kids who might have a parent who played professionally in Central America, or their parents came from Europe or something like that. Should the Iranian Federation pay closer attention and give more attention or call-ups to maybe some of these dual nationals that we hear about who grew up in the U.S., Sweden, Germany, places like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. The players that they are playing in Europe, we have a lot of players they're playing in Europe that they are super good, but unfortunately they don't want to even come to and play for Iran right now.
Or they're not contacted.
No, same thing. It's a politic.
When you look at 8 months from now as Iran gets ready for the World Cup, what is your confidence right now? What do you tell other coaches if they ask about Iran?
I wish I could say a lot of positive, but I don't have that much trust on coaching system right now in Iran.
Would Iran benefit from waking up tomorrow and instead getting a foreign coach, even if he's good? Considering we are so close to the World Cup, is it worth it to maybe try to bring in someone who maybe?
Oh yeah, we still have 8 months, 9 months to go. We still have a long way to go. And a coach with the knowledge can pick up the right player that he wants and work with them. We are hoping that maybe Ghalenoei use some other help that they can help him. He's stuck with so many same people that he had them for last 10, 15 years. But he needs to change that too.
Do you think Ghalenoei has changed to help Iran succeed in a tournament like the World Cup? He did okay in the Asian Cup. There were some shaky games, but he took Iran to the semifinal. They lost to the host. Do you think he has what he needs in the World Cup, the players that he has? Do you think he has what he needs to then put the right tactics?
Player-wise, he does, but knowledge-wise, I don't have that much trust on him.
When you look at these photos of these players from back then, what players do you wish you could put in the national team today?
Obviously, Behzadi, and we had Behzadi, we had Parveen. We had a lot of super good players.
We could use Parveen right now. We could use a good
We could use a person with a good technique like Parveen has.
Coach, anything else I haven't asked about, or anything that you think of when you see some of these teams in Iran or the national team itself? Anything that comes to your mind?
We have a lot of things to talk about. It's hours and hours and hours talk, but I think we basically covered what we should.
Will you be going to the World Cup?
Last World Cup, it was in USA. I went to 3 games. I'm hoping I can go to some games again.
Do you keep in contact with anyone in Iran right now, with any teams or national team or former players? Things like
I have a lot of contact with Khordbin, with Abdullahi. We have it. Actually, I was talking to a couple of them today. So, no, we are in contact.
Do they agree with what you were telling me?
Politically, they won't say anything, but they should, I think.
One thing I forgot to ask about. Does Team Melli need to get more athletic? Do they need to get quicker in order to compete with the teams that we will see next year?
Our national team really, all together, we need to change more in coaching, tactic, and everything than player. We do have enough player. We do have player. We just don't have right system, right coaches. That's all we need to do. We need to get politics out of soccer.
Coach,
thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that interview. Let's talk about the U23 Asian Cup, Erfan. They've got into a pretty difficult group given the tournament. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean they deserve this hard group because last time out they didn't even qualify for the tournament, so it does make sense. But yeah, they did well in qualifying. Omid Rabankha is the head coach. They did well in qualifier. They played away in UAE, and they won all 3 of their qualifying games. But yeah, I think it's still too early to judge how this team will do. Their group is difficult, like you said. Their group, Uzbekistan, South Korea, and Lebanon. I think Iran should easily be getting out of this group because Uzbekistan haven't been performing well. They even drew with Kyrgyzstan at home. So it's not one of those amazing generations for Uzbekistan. And we've always played well against South Korea. So I think we should be able to get out of this group. And this U23 Asian Cup isn't qualifying for the Olympics. It's the next one. But it's still very important because we need to get our rankings up, because like we saw, we don't want to get in a difficult group for the next edition. So it's very important, and yeah, looking forward to it.
How far do you think this team can potentially go in? Because the expectation for the senior team when the Asian Cup was on is that they should win the tournament.
No, I mean the draw in the group stage looks bad, but if we do qualify for the next stage, we'll probably take on either Iraq or Australia, and those are beatable teams for Iran. So I would expect at least a semi-final run, to be honest. I know I might be being a bit harsh, but no, I do expect a lot from this generation. They're a good group of players. They've shown it before, and with the right management, I think they can do well.
Yeah, hopefully. And we'll bring updates on them on the Golbazan Twitter, so follow us on there if you aren't already. And the very last segment is on the U17 Women Asian Cup, Erfan.
Yeah, the qualifiers begin on the 13th of October in Saudi Arabia, same as the U23 Asian Cup. And Iran are in a pretty good group out Lebanon, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. And only the first place team qualifies for the final round, for the final tournament. So I think Lebanon are Iran's biggest challenge in this group. And if we qualify, we will have qualified for our first ever U17 Asian Cup. So yeah, hopefully it happens, and our girls make history like they've done on senior level.
Amazing. Everyone, we're going to wrap up the episode there. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone for watching and listening at home. As an update again for you guys, we're playing Russia on the 10th of October and then Tanzania on the 14th of October. Both of those games we'll do a Twitter space before and after the match. So yeah, keep following us on social platforms to join in on those, and you're very welcome to talk on those as well. Normally either Arya or Samson hosts them, and the last few have been pretty spicy, so you guys have been very angry. So yeah, keep them coming. It's good. It's good conversation. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening again. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you so much, guys.
Hi everybody, I am Ebrahimzadeh. I'm watching the goal Bezan.